What's going on, people? Welcome back to AFTV. It's now time for the Predicted 11 video. We're going to predict who we're going to see play against Inter Milan here on Wednesday night in our next Champions League fixture. The real question is, who's going to be starting? Will it be Martin? Before we get... No, don't walk. That was a good one. That one was a good one. That one was good though. That is good because he's been training this morning. Anyway, but before we get into our thoughts on the players, I want to big up Saley. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video, and here's a little bit more on them right here. As you can see, we've headed to Milan for the Arsenal versus Inter, and this time touching down and travelling isn't going to be a nightmare. Thank the Lord. I've got Saley's eSIM, so there's no need for shady SIM deals or waiting in those long airport lines for Wi-Fi. Just download the Saley app, pick a super affordable data plan, and you're set in over 160 countries. Look, I'm already using the app now. You can go through all the countries wherever you're at and get an eSIM straight from your phone. And we've got you hooked up too. We've got an exclusive 50% offer on plans. All you got to do is scan the QR code or click the link below and use our code at checkout. Trust me, you'll want this for every trip you go on. Remember guys, saley.com/AFTV. Like we mentioned, listen, big up Saley as well. You don't need to worry about getting a SIM card when you come over here. Just
Saley, I've been using it already since I've been here. No word of a lie. It's brilliant. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, especially when you're on these trips, you know, things like Saley VPN, absolutely brilliant to have. Keeps you safe. Yep. You know what I mean? Because you're walking around people, you don't want people nicking your data. And you can watch stuff from back home as well. So, which I was doing. So, no, it's brilliant. Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it.
Big up Saley.
In the description, click. Click, click, click.
All right, let's get straight into this. Will Martin be starting? Let's just go straight. We'll go through the 11, but let's just start with that.
Ah, you're still with that.
Would you start him?
If he's fit. I don't think I'd start him, but I would like to see him take some part in the game if he's fit. But I don't know if he's going to be fit enough if this game comes too soon for him. But if he is, listen, we've been missing him, innit? Yeah. We've been missing him. A few weeks ago, I said one of the compliments we could pay to, you know, people like Trossard is we weren't missing him as much as I thought we were gonna. Right. Since the international break. Yeah. Now, we're missing you now. We are missing this guy.
Big tune, by the way.
But it's not just that, right? It's we're not creative at all. Yeah. So he's even in some of the positions that we've seen certain players playing in, that needs to be adjusted for me for this game. Yeah. So, you know.
We'll build up to the midfield, but James, would you start him if he's available?
I mean, not playing for 2-3 months and then suddenly going, Inter, please. It just doesn't feel... We've got a lot of big games to come. This, like I said on the preview, this game doesn't define our Champions League campaign, I don't think, anyway. So, no, I wouldn't start him. But if he's in the squad, that's a really good sign, because Arteta never brings players into the squad from injury until they're actually ready to contribute. Marino, didn't hear anything, and suddenly, bench against PSG comes on. And he does that with a lot of players. Once you're back, Timber, are you back? Right, Liverpool, you're starting. Like, he keeps them away while they're not injured. At 98, 99%. But once they're there, they're there. So if he's on the bench, that's fantastic news, and I'd expect him to start against Chelsea. All
right, let's run through it. Robbie's got one eye on Chelsea, which I understand on the weekend. But
when I say I've got one eye on Chelsea, it doesn't mean I'm not saying
this is not. I'm not your eye.
It doesn't mean that I'm not saying we're going strong. I want to go strongly.
Okay, good.
As possible.
Well, let's get into that then. So Raya in goal, I'm sure we all can agree on that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. Now, Benjamin White.
If he's fit, he starts all day long. I mean, Thomas Partey playing at right back, he did admirably against Liverpool, right? And he defended well against Newcastle, but offers nothing going forward. And then we lose his creativity in the midfield. So I don't want to see Thomas Partey there. If Ben White is fit, he must start.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Everything that I said there, yeah.
I'm so agree. Obviously, he's not available for this game. Takehiro Tomiyasu, on the time of recording, it's his birthday. Happy birthday. And also, he was linked to Inter as well, heavily as well. But it looks like it's going to be Ben White.
He plays football in Italy, so I'm not surprised about that.
So, but yeah, Ben White, I think we can agree on. Centre-back pairing kind of picks itself.
Yeah, but they need to... Listen, I don't really blame them for the goal. I think it's a great cross and a great header against Newcastle, but we're conceding a lot of goals, and that's a team thing. But the centre-backs were being put in serious conversations not long ago. We're going to need big performances from them as well.
Yeah, because, you know, on the opposite side for Inter, they got two great centre-backs as well. So, you know, they're going to be judged against the best tomorrow night. So, but it's definitely, you know, Saliba and Gabriel.
Left back.
Quality.
Is it just be
Yuri and Timber for me, 100%.
I mean, it would be Timber,
I mean, that's one of their strengths. you know, and you guys were talking about when we was doing the previews, that one of their strengths are their wingers and their wing backs.
Yeah.
Right, and Timber is going to be needed in this game, you know. We got done out wide against Newcastle.
I was about to say, what did you make of him against Newcastle? He wasn't
his greatest game. I mean, you know, he's normally been so good for us this season. It wasn't his greatest game, but, you know, time to redeem yourself. Come and put in a good performance. Although I don't know what you could have done against that cross. It was such a good first-time cross.
Can't stop that.
It was great, and I don't really blame him for the cross, but Timber hasn't looked comfortable at left back for me this season. Out of possession, like Liverpool, you've got a specific job, which is man-marking Salah. I actually think brilliant. He's a utility man. He's there to do a very particular job. There's a particular role required. But in possession, then you're asking him to invert on the ball. I actually think he looks quite uncomfortable out on the right when he's bombing up and down, whether it be on the underlap, overlap, inverting. He can do it all. So I think his long term is competing with White at right back, and you manage the minutes there, and the left back spot will be Calafiori's. And I feel like Zinchenko's a little bit overlooked because he still gives us something when he inverts into midfield. We haven't seen it as much, but is he given the chances? I just don't think this is the game for Zinchenko. So I do go for Timber, but I do have slight questions over how comfortable he is there at the moment.
It's funny because I'm assuming that'll be your back line for Chelsea as well, because that is the strongest back line. So they're going to
be my back line for Chelsea.
They're going to have a lot of minutes.
And again, Madueke, Palmer like to
you need them. You need them fullbacks.
It makes sense for Timber to play left back this week.
Okay. Well, it's a lot of game time, but
well, listen, the game's on Sunday. You know what I mean? So they've got enough recovery time, and then after that's an international break. So. You know, so I just want them to go rear into, you know, the two big games.
Yeah.
Simple.
Okay, let's go into DM. Let's go into midfield. Let's go. So, Partey, Rice, Moreno, Jorginho.
Partey for me at the base, right? That's where he's been doing his great work this season. He's played well this season.
Yeah.
There. Right? I don't want to see him at right back, man. I want to see him there, where he can create, he can
didn't
get
do too
balls
bad
out
against Liverpool though.
He's done well at right back against Newcastle and Liverpool, but he's been
but he's just a defender. When he plays a right back, he's just a defender, innit? You know, we lose his creativity. That's one of the reasons why we had no creativity against Newcastle, right? Play him there, let him, you know, be at the base of things, spraying balls out to Saka, getting those balls quickly into those wide players. You know what I mean? Definitely for me, Partey.
Yeah.
As that 6.
And you agree with everything Robbie says there, I'm sure. Let's go. Okay, let me come to you then for the midfield 2 options then, the 2 8s. Is it, or the 8 and the 10? Creativity problems all over. People have been saying online, Arsenal's, you know, we're not creating enough. What is your solution? Do you throw in at Ethan? I wouldn't start Odegaard, I don't think he'll start either, but do you risk him? What is the solution? Do you keep Trossard there? Do you drop in a Jesus? I don't know. Who are the 2 for you?
I'll try to say this quickly. I think Arteta might be getting into his slight panic mode where he kind of reverts back to something. He's tried different things with Havertz drifting out to the right. I think he might revert to something we know a bit better, because I don't think it's worked moving Havertz from his best position. That's the first thing I'll say.
Okay.
We've played more 4-4-2 with Trossard and Havertz as false nines. Don't really like it. He did something against City that I think was really overlooked by most people. He moved Trossard to the left slightly and moved Rice to the right of Partey. So Rice was playing as the box-to-box, but he was attacking almost the Odegaard channel. So he was supporting Saka with underlapping runs, and then he makes, as Saka was drifting aside attacking Gvardiol, Rice made an overlapping run that won the corner we then score from to go 2-1 up. And actually, when you're a right footer, you know, playing football, and you're charging down, when that ball's rolled into you on your stronger foot, you can do so much more from that. I think Rice is 6. If he's going to play 8, I like him on the right of the midfield 3. And I'm not just plucking that out of thin air. Arteta showed us that against Man City. It was his tactic for probably our biggest game of the season. So I'd go that. I'd go Partey at the base with Rice, and then Trossard on the left of the midfield 3, where he's getting to more comfortable positions. And then Havertz isn't having to come over to Saka to support.
Yeah. I mean, I'm tempted to bring in Wanyeri in this game, because, you know, I just want to see him play now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trossard has been very poor since the international break.
Correct.
He's been very poor. You know, giving the ball away. You know, listen, he's a good player. He's done well for us, but last couple of games he's been poor.
Yeah.
And I'm finding it hard to justify keeping him in. The only thing I would look on is it's quite daunting to come here as a kid. Like Wanyeri and play in here against a team like Inter.
Atmosphere.
But then sometimes this is where stars are born. So, you know what? Let's start Wanyeri, man. It's time, man. It's time. Let's get Wanyeri in this game, man. I mean, we you know, if it ain't working, you've got your Trossards, people like that you can bring on. Let's take that risk.
Okay, so you've gone Ethan in there.
Ethan and Rice and
Partey. And you've gone Rice and Trossard, but put Rice on the right side. Because you're right, I think Havertz drifting over to that right side. It worked against Liverpool, in my opinion. I think done all right, but then against Newcastle, it was terrible.
We had no attacker,
no strike,
no striker.
And those balls being put into the box.
Rice and Marino were great against Liverpool, fantastic. Newcastle, we totally lacked something, so he's got to fix that balance.
Yeah. Okay, so let's work forward. Front three then. Robbie, I'm coming to you.
Front three of Havertz down the middle, Saka obviously, and I'd put Sterling in from the start. You know what I mean? I want to see, you know what I mean? I don't understand, right? We've gone and got him. I know he's been on loan and that, right? But we've not really seen enough of him. And I have to be, totally honest, right, that since the international break, Martinelli's been terrible. Yeah, I think he's not been the Martinelli that we all know and love. Defensively, he still does his work, right? And that's one thing, you'll never fault that guy. He'll get back, he'll do the work and that. But I just don't think in an attacking sense, he's been very good. You know what I mean? And like Newcastle, they just showed him down the line. He wasn't effective. Yeah. The Liverpool game, he gave the ball away. That led to it. He's not really on form at the moment. I think it's time to put Sterling in with his pace. If they got wing backs bombing on, we can win that ball quickly. Someone like a Thomas Partey gets the ball out to him in behind. Maybe he can do some damage. We need to find out. He's not playing.
I'll come to you, James, but call me a fool if I'm wrong by this, but that's why Sterling won't play. It's because of their wide play, their wingers, their wing backs. The defensive work has to be so good. And
but,
I'm sorry, Martinelli has that in abundance over Sterling.
He does.
So that is where...
are we coming to defend? Or I want to see a bit more. I want to see a bit more attacking flair from us.
They're going to have more... Yeah, they're going to have more...
I want to see us being a bit more braver.
Marseille, you're right, Cecil. He'll get the nod because he'll track the wing backs a bit better. However, a lot of people are kind of clowning Arsenal already for the Sterling signing, and you can in many ways. But let me say this: has he really been given a chance?
He hasn't had a chance.
I'll be honest. It looked pretty lively against Bournemouth. Was taken off. He should have been kept on, so we had something going the other way. Yep. Didn't come on against Liverpool. Didn't come on against Newcastle. I'm judging him out on the right against Preston. He did okay, but I'm not saying he's lighting up the world when he comes on the pitch. I'm not even saying that he's necessarily the player. Well, maybe he's not. And I'm sure Arteta isn't playing him for a reason. But it's slightly concerning that needing goals against Liverpool and Newcastle, he didn't opt for him in the last 10 minutes.
It's been strange, strange. Listen, he has been a big... I know, probably the last year or so, but he has been a big player. He was like England's best player at one time. He was used to playing at Man City on these stages. Yeah. What's the point in going and getting him if you ain't going to use him? I think, the fact that, the two other players that I'm thinking could play there, Martinelli and Trossard, neither of those two are on form, I'd start him. I'd go for that pace
and also,
in behind.
We talk about Martinelli's work rate because we know he has it. Now, 100%. Sterling, to be fair, I've not seen him start a game of this magnitude of which you're going to see whether he's going to have that. And I'm sure he'll have come to Arsenal, know exactly what the requirements were from Mikel Arteta and be willing to do it. So I have to say, if you go to Martinelli, I get it. But I'm with Robbie, actually. Like, what did we get him for? Even on a loan in which Chelsea are paying most of his wages. I mean, even then, like, what was the point in doing it if he's just going to sit there?
We're not playing this guy, right? And we've got players that are playing and not on form.
I'd go for it. Sterling on the left.
Sense.
Oh, so you've checked. So now you're okay.
No, I think he'll go for Martinelli.
He will go for Martinelli
for the reasons you said.
He will.
Down to me.
Martinelli take a risk because Martinelli going to have to play on Sunday, or Trossard because obviously Sterling can't play in that game because he's playing against Chelsea.
Yeah.
Start him. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I don't want Martinelli's work rate as well. I always say this on Forever Arsenal. Everyone goes, but working hard's the bare minimum. Well, but Martinelli does give it his all. And also there's a tactical understanding to the positioning and the work rate and understanding what you've got to do off the ball. It's not just, he runs a lot and tries. There's a lot more to that. So I want to give him immense credit for that. But on the ball, it's not happening for Martinelli. Let's mix it up. It's not a bad thing.
It happens, It happens. Players are out of form. This is not. This happens, right? So that's why you have a squad. Bring the other guy in.
Yeah, that's where I am.
And you know what? Just quickly, people are quick to judge. I think, especially Arsenal fans. Like some people said, they're done with Sterling already, done with Mikel Marino already. I remember when
the Marino one's crazy too. What's he done
wrong? The Marino one is crazy for
What's
me as well.
Same
thing I say, James, because the guy's only just come, right? I remember reading the other day where Rodri said when he first came to City how bad he was. He was saying himself.
There was a tweet that did the rounds, funnily enough, on Twitter, about 3 weeks ago, and it was a starting 11 that had Rodri and someone else starting. And the City fans in the comments were like, what's this Rodri guy starting for? But this was about maybe 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, now he's a Ballon d'Or winner. Okay, I don't think Mikel Merino is going to become a Ballon d'Or winner. But,
never say never.
But also, I mean, did he not create the best chance of the game? It's Bournemouth. I'm not saying he was great. But he put on a plate for Martinelli. I thought he was
Scored
brilliant.
against Liverpool.
Scored against, he was brilliant against Liverpool.
Right.
So I'm
Listen,
not
now I
really
get
sure
it.
everyone's
He's not
complaining
been
about.
great, but we got to give the guy a chance.
time.
But I wouldn't
Fine.
start him in this game.
Yeah,
Now.
I remember when
I
Ben White
don't get
arrived
it.
and people were slating him, and now look how much people love
For
Ben
one
White now.
game
Yeah, literally
against Ivan Toney.
Yeah, exactly.
Having a go
Who
against
they
Ryan,
was
slating
brilliant.
Odegaard
They
as well.
Yeah, and that as well.
Like,
And that one, especially, is that
He
that
never
game against
recovered from
Brentford.
that, you know, Ben White. That analysis about his, you know, whether he's a good enough header or whatever. Listen, he ended up playing right back, but he's been brilliant, and he was terrific at centre back the other day. And it's like, you know, reputations
killed
can run
him
away
off
with
that
these
game.
kind of early perceptions. Mikel Merino's been absolutely fine. Do we want more? Yes, we want that from the whole team there.
Well, that is it for our Predict 11. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with the team we've gone with, or Robbie and James have gone with? Let us know below. Like the video if you like the video, and one more shout out to Saley as well. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video.
Brilliant.